Hello, dear tribe. I am Mayoora, and I am so excited to welcome you to the first chapter of Sweets of Consciousness. This is a baby that I have been creating in my mind since long time ago, and right now has become the time. I was feeling maybe some blockages, some doubts about it, and today I was just asking what would it take to actually manifest it and let go of all the excuses I put to myself. So right now I'm here manifesting Sweets of Consciousness. And this program, or this, I don't even know how to call it yet, but it will come naturally, organically. I don't worry about that anymore. So this is videos that I will be sharing in this YouTube platform so that our consciousness gets this richness from these sweets that I have been exploring, that I have been integrating in my life, that some encounterings, some lessons that have been changing the way I perceive the world, the way I relate to myself and to the other humans around me, the plants, the animals. And I do it, my intention is to be genuine, to be really honest. Right now, I'm here in these trees at my home, and I didn't even put any makeup because I don't do makeup. I am just wearing the clothes that I wore today, and this is easier for me to be who I am instead of trying to accomplish or to appear as something that my head thinks that someone else will like. I know, but I know also that a lot of us may be thinking or acting through this belief. So I'm breaking with all of that and just showing my heart to you in this beautiful sharing or offering. At least I find it beautiful. This is how I share it to you. And in this first chapter, my theme is my truth is unique and different from all others. So, my truth is unique. When I start to connect to my truth, sometimes I think, because I get so excited and so amazed of what I've been finding in my truth, because it's a communion with my soul. When I start to encounter my truth, I start to encounter my soul. I start to connect to the voice of my heart. So it can be so potent, so powerful, that sometimes we can get lost in this ego trap and start to impose this truth in other people. And I will start to say, like, I have the truth, I know what is wrong with you, I know how you can fix it, I know what therapy would be good for you. And I think that's okay if it stays as an invitation, but sometimes we can be really imposing on others what we have found. So to actually acknowledge that the more that I connect with myself, with my soul, with my truth, with my heart, the more different maybe that I can be becoming from all others. And different not as hierarchy, not as I am becoming more spiritual and enlightened and illuminated. And so we go again to this other ego trap, which is like, oh, I'm conscious and they are not so conscious. Like, oh no, it's because they don't have these tools, or they have not found whatever their voice, la la la. And it's different in the way that colors are different. Not that pink is more than red, not that black is the boss of all the other colors. It's just that it's different. And different, diversity, at least for me, it's what makes this world rich, abundant, delicious. You know, when we have these monocrops, when we have these fields, when we can see just endless acres of one single tree, what we find sometimes, for me it's boring, and also the soul starts to erode. The soul is not getting the diverse nutrients that is actually helping the earth to nurture itself, to have this information about what it should change, how it can modify, how it can grow, how it can protect itself from maybe a new plague or something. The soil, as humans, need or can be enriched with diversity. So when I try to fit my truth into maybe a form or a perception of what normal is, or to try to fit in a family clan, to try to fit in some group of friends, to try to fit in society, what I am doing is that I am losing my shine, I am losing my power. I am just surrendering my power to something outside of me, to some image, to some illusion, to some person, and I'm getting farther away from my truth. Because when I find my truth, at least for me, I have to dive deep within. I have to meditate. I love to meditate with mudra, because these postures, actually what they do is that they make this circuit in our nervous system, in our energetic pathways, that allow us to start to bring back all the energy that we have put outside back to the inside. And when we do that, we can be more conscious of what is moving inside of us. What this does, it's the possibility to stop blaming the others. Oh my God, how difficult can this be? I don't know. For you, for me, he's still sometimes very challenging to notice when I am putting the responsibility on others, when I am just in the frequency of guilt, when I am just like washing my hands and saying, no, 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 I am right, I am more conscious, I have worked on this, so if I am feeling uncomfortable, it must be on the other person. And you know, there's this powerful, powerful moment when we take responsibility for what we are creating in our lives, that we actually can feel this inner fire lightening up, and bringing all this possibility of creating our lives, of changing our lives if we want to, of painting like art our lives. If we stay in the posture of being the victim, finding it easier to put it outside of ourselves, we lose all that power. And this can be conscious or unconscious, you know, because sometimes we can be in a really difficult creation that we have made in our lives, and it's difficult to accept, like, how can you say that I'm responsible for being abused, or for having an accident, or for having this disease? And I like to make this distinction between responsibility and guilt, because I think sometimes our mind really like mixes them and fusions them and thinks they are the same, but actually they can be very different. Responsibility comes with accepting that I have the power and the choice to create my life, but it's always, I think, always shared. Responsibility is always shared, because we are an interconnection between all humans, plants, animals, minerals, all of the things, human forms, living forms that the earth is birthing, is hosting in its body. We are all connected. So everything that we are creating in our lives, it's actually a co-creation. So one perspective is to put it outside and say that someone else is guilty of, that someone else should be responsible for this. But when I take my part, not full maybe responsibility, but my part of responsibility, what I am doing actually is lightening up this inner fire and reminding myself that I have power, that I am not a victim, that I can choose, that I can put limits, that I can create different, maybe not change the past, maybe I can just change the perception in which I see the past, but what can I create from now on? If I take responsibility from these creations, if I do not take responsibility, then it's very difficult to create something different, because I will just keep blaming it on others and finding maybe comfortable to do that, and I will just be this spectator of my life instead of actually incarnating this physical body and learning, because sometimes, of course, all of this is unconscious. So if I am creating something really uncomfortable, or that it's making me suffer, or that it's making me have a disease, can be mental, can be physical, can be in different bodies, this disease or this is like loss or scarcity of ease. The opportunity that I can find here is that this unconsciousness is starting to go to the outside, so that I can see it more clearly, so that I can imagine, like, if you have a rash, it's like really clear, it's like something, it's like going out into our skin, and it's not possible anymore to keep blaming it on others, to keep saying or hiding that this is not true, that this is not happening, because it's already out there. So when we have this possibility of making the unconscious conscious by taking responsibility, empowering ourselves, and actually acknowledging that we have a choice, that can actually transform completely the way that we have perceived our lives and that we have shared our truth with others. So, I find that a really dense obstacle to finding or to connecting to my truth is envy. Because envy, for me, it's this way of sensing, seeing, perceiving something really precious on others, something that we love, something that we makes us like, wow, I would love to have that, to do that, to be that. But then it's in the middle, it's this belief, this contract, this loyalty that is saying to us, like, you cannot be that, you do not deserve to be that. And then we go into these excuses, these traps, like, no, no, no. She can do this because she has this kind of money. He can do this because he started really young. She can do this because she's privileged. He can do this because he doesn't have all this baggage, all this trauma in his backpack. But maybe these are all excuses that are keeping us from actually transforming this envy into inspiration. Imagine that instead of feeling this envy towards someone else, we could use this as inspiration and say, oh my god, if she or he can do it, that the only thing that is saying to me is that I can do it also. there's a possibility out there because someone else has created it. So now my consciousness, my mind, my body can sense that this is possible, that I can also do it. And then we will get into this process of actually finding out, going deep down, maybe with a cup of delicious cacao, like, okay, what's blocking this characteristic in me? What's blocking this action, this manifestation in me? And then we will start maybe a whole journey inside of ourselves, maybe go into our lineage, maybe go into our history, maybe go into our childhood, maybe even go to the months that we were in our mother's womb. You know, it can be so deep, so expansive, the findings that we can make once we take this responsibility, once we have this intention from our willpower to burn, to dilute, to dissolve these blockages that stop us from being what we can envy on others or what we can take as inspiration from others. And I have written down some of the possibilities to eradicate envy. And I want to share this with you because it has been life changing for me to stop envy in my body. And I don't know if I can say that I already like eradicated in my life, but what I can say is that I have like really bringing it down, maybe like 80%, I don't know, something like that. Because I used to envy my friends, my other women, my sisters, you know, maybe even my past self or my future self in my fantasies. And this energy was so draining that I started to look in the ways of transforming this energy. And what I love about these findings is that everything that we are feeling, perceiving, sensing, at the core it's energy. And when we go to that core, then if it is energy, energy can change into anything. And all the energy we are using to envy others, it's draining us. So what if we take this energy back with this willpower, with this responsibility, with this perception that we have a choice, and start to create our lives more consciously, more joyfully maybe. And so the steps that I want to share with you to eradicate envy are: first, recognize that we have the possibility of choosing. We recognize that we have the power to create our lives. We remind over and over to ourselves that we are the creators of our own life. Even if we are not conscious of what we are creating, we are the creators of what we can feel, sense, and perceive in our lives. So, from that, we make this, we have this clarity that we are creating it consciously and unconsciously. That is very important because I get this a lot. Like people sometimes saying, no, but of course I didn't create this because I was not thinking of this at this time. I know exactly what I was thinking, so I was not creating this. But then it's like this picture, very famous picture of this iceberg when it's like the tip it's conscious and all of the unconscious it's like meters down in the water. This is the best way to put it, you know. It's not like, oh no, it's not just what you were thinking at that specific time. It's what you have been planting throughout all your life. It's what you have said since you were 7 years old. It's what you have lived from the relationship with your parents. It's what your ancestors have been manifesting throughout centuries. So when we go to this depth, we can actually start to sense how we are creating this from the unconscious, and then start to receive the richness of making it conscious, and by making it conscious, the possibility of choosing something different. Then we make ourselves conscious of all the judgment about being correct or incorrect, and not just myself, not just myself in the past, but also my lineage, my ancestors, my mother, my father, my sister. I don't know. I think that maybe if we really look into our minds in meditation and really start to see how much we judge, oh my god, even like these thoughts that come like without even noticing, you know, we are judging. We are already, our mind is like trained to say, this is okay, this is not okay, this is not how my parents taught me, this, the religion says it's a sin, I don't like this makes me feel uncomfortable, la la la, and then we just are in this black and white movement trap in which we are judging, and by judging, we are maybe trying to fix it. And this is, for me, the most dangerous trap when we talk about healing. Because look at these two possibilities. What if healing is from something that I need to fix in myself? Something that I find uncomfortable, something that I think my grandmother didn't do okay, something that I judged that my grandfather was suffering, grandfather was suffering from that, so I need to change it. What if healing comes from acceptance? What if healing comes from, okay, I can see how my choices in the past are creating this in the present, and not only mine again, the choices of my lineage and of society and humanity, you know, we are all connected. And from that point, just like a child, from innocence, from curiosity, from this playfulness, start to ask, okay, what if another thing is possible? What other thing can I create? What else can I co create? If I don't feel comfortable, if I feel comfortable, whatever, you know, it doesn't matter. Just keep searching for new possibilities, for new ways of being. Keep searching for what is actually my truth. Keep searching, or actually stop searching and start finding what we really are. And one of the questions that I love the most and I practice every day is, who am I? Who am I? And what, how can I be more of me? How can I be more of me? And I remember a lot these questions when I am feeling like really influenced by the choice of others, especially the people most near me, you know, my partner, my family. And then I start to get lost in this, like trying to fit in or trying to make it more harmonious in some way. But then I start to lose what I really feel, what I really am, what I would actually want to offer to the world. So I get into these questions and start to find again my truth. And the other form that we can eradicate envy is start looking and projecting on the other, so that I can start finding my own capacities, my own limits, my own possibilities, my own talents, my own gifts. Maybe when we envy another and we turn it into inspiration, is not in a way like, okay, now I need to find out how to be that person, how to be like that person because it's inspiring. Maybe what I am using as inspiration is to find what makes me feel like that person is feeling. But example, maybe this person is really shining when he sings. So this is not the idea like, okay, now I have to sing to feel that way. No. What is making me shine? Maybe it's not singing for me. Maybe for me it's dancing. Maybe for me is writing poetry. Maybe for me is walking barefoot in the river. So again, my truth is unique and it's different from all others. And by being different is what makes this world rich and diverse and abundant and joyous. Because you know how boring can it be all trying to fit in this normality when we can all nurture from different perspectives, different points of view, different ways of living. And again, not as when I get inspired trying to be that, trying to get to that point, but like to open more and more and more and more possibilities in human consciousness, maybe in the world or the universal consciousness, so that when we see that another is doing something unique, something truthful, something authentic, then we can say, oh my god, there's more possibilities in this world. How can I contribute to keep expanding these possibilities in which we can find our truth, and from our truth, security, self esteem, certainty, clarity? So, diversity can be the most powerful thing to accept about humanity, at least in my perspective. When we connect to our truth and open ourselves to listen to the truth of others and accept that they are different and open up ourselves to maybe have really firm certainty in what our truth is, even if it is very different from the other, and or opening ourselves to being influenced by this other truth and maybe changing a little bit or a lot my own truth, so that not that it fits with the other, but because something in my consciousness is expanding and I am able to recognize that, I am able to embrace that, so that can make a whole difference, I think, in the whole world. So please allow yourself to be different, allow yourself to connect to your truth, allow yourself to hear different truths, especially the ones that are really connected to the voice of the heart, and play, be like water, keep flowing, keep finding yourself in different forms, in different ways. It's not that if you find this truth, then you're gonna have that truth all your life. Of course not. That's not nature. Nature is always changing, always transforming, always dying and being reborn. And so are you. So, thank you for being here in this first chapter of Sweets of Consciousness. We'll be meeting here again and sending you lots of love. I am Mayoora and welcome to this new possibility.